kick it off. So
Hangout. All right, so Hangout on air is live. So we are broadcasting right now. So we're recording.
okay, great. All right, so thanks everybody for joining us for this meeting. I'm glad we can kind of discuss and negotiate like this partnership in the design, the manufacture, and sale of this new generation engine, the A2000. So I mean, I think we all already know each other and where we're coming from in our background. So I think we can kind of get right into it. So I think one of the first things I'd like to discuss is the program fees and when the program fees will be paid. So I guess we can kind of, if anybody has a preference to this, something I wanted to discuss about the program fees was just that I think it makes the most sense to do program fees half now and then half on the date of the first of the sale, because if we do half on the date of the first of the sale, we don't actually know when the first of the sale will be. So I think that's harder to kind of figure out. And then if we do half now and half on the date of the first flight, that's another option that we can consider. So does anybody have any opinions on that?
Yeah, I do. I'd rather not pony up all the program fees half now, knowing that we don't have a full concept right now. I prefer a 25% now and then the rest on the full engine test.
I agree with that one as the French company Cersei. I think that makes the most sense.
Well, on behalf of Airborne, I was actually hoping, to agree that, maybe potentially go with the options of half now on the first day of the sale or half on the, half now as well on the first, first day of the first flight. But, if that's not, if that's impossible, for you guys, and, I think we could probably make a concession and maybe someone else in the middle if you're willing.
Right.
Takami agrees with that idea of half first sale and half first flight. That would ensure a timely development.
I'm okay.
Right. And it also like ensure the kind of the trust that you guys have in Airborne in order to kind of get this program off the ground. I mean, because you're initially investing into it, so we can kind of move on from there. Because I think if you putting half into the program fees now, I think shows the trust that you have in Airborne to complete this project.
I like the option half on the first. So we're saying half on date of first sale, half on date of first flight. Is that what we're all?
Either one or the other, whatever you guys think is best. So we do half now up front, and then the other half on the date of the first flight or the date of the first sale, whatever works for the best of you guys. I'll leave that to you guys to discuss.
I would say half on the date of the first sale and then half on the date of the first flight.
I'm good with that.
Takami agrees with that on behalf of Kyastu.
Yep, I think that I have no issue with that. So I think half on the day of first, half on the day of first flight is an acceptable agreement.
Okay, that works for us at Airborne, I think. Unless either you other Airborne guys have an objection.
I think we're good.
I think as Wallach, I would prefer it be half now and half on first sale. But if we can talk about how we're going to share technology information, then I think we can see. I would consider the half on first sale, half on first flight.
Okay. All right. So let's discuss the how we should share technical information between the partners. I mean, I know from Airborne's point of view, I think all of our partners we should share now in year one. I mean, like, I don't think there's a necessarily a reason to hide that information. I mean, like, so this way we can further this along, and sharing information up front with everybody, I think goes a long way to promoting trust between us all. So, I mean, depending on how you guys feel about it, I think sharing the technical information up front in year one is the best option.
Yep, Cersei agrees with that one. Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be, it's too expensive to make mistakes. If we all share our information from the beginning, everybody knows what's going on. We can make changes as needed. Everybody's in the loop. It will be efficient and effective.
Yeah, well, Novo thinks that we're going to develop a good core part of the first year's technical information. And if we want to go sharing among all of us in year one, then I'd really like to default on that. I'd really like to fall back on half on data first sale and half on data first flight for
I'm good with that.
program fees.
As Wallach, you know, I'm not really sure about that. I really I'm not comfortable with sharing with everyone in year one. I'd much prefer sharing information bilaterally in stages. It's just the safest moving forward.
Yeah, and I would prefer to share info bilaterally only in stages as well. I think that just works, you know, best if we can be able to actually just disclose information by partner basis.
I would disagree and say I can concede on if we're not going to share amongst everybody in year one and we're doing it bilaterally in year one. I'm okay with that, but I think it needs to be shared in year one, not just in stages.
I'm up in the air. Again, I'm more concerned about the program fee payment, but I'd be okay with either one of these options, sharing bilaterally. Primarily, I'd like to be able to share bilaterally only in year one, but I'd be open to sharing in stages. And then if it really came down to it, I guess, you know, we could all share among each other in year one altogether.
As Wallach, I'm definitely in agreement with you. I think sharing bilaterally in year one is a better option. As Takami, you know, that's really tough for us. I'd really like to the original suggestion of sharing among everyone in year one.
Yeah, and I personally agree. I think if we're going to concede on the program fees and having them half on data first sale, half on data first flight, we need to be in agreement with all the partners on where we're going with the technological information. I mean, you know, you also all have to think, I mean, like, in order to have a first sale, we need to make sure that we have all the information in order to make sound technological decisions. So I think the sharing of information up front with everybody, I think, is the best course of action in order to kind of move this program further and to provide trust in us all in order to get it to that next step. So I'm standing pretty concretely on share among all partners in year one. And if we can discuss like some type of consensus, if we're going to keep the program fees at half on first data sale, half on data first flight, I think we have to share between all of us in the first year.
Well, I still don't, you know, I'm going to object to that. I still think that we should only share info bilaterally only in year one. I would be willing to potentially compromise only if we could get something else. We can get a concession somewhere else during negotiations.
Cersei is pretty good with either of those two options.
Yeah, and Novo, like I said, I could go either option is fine. I just don't want to concede on my fees. That's all.
And Cersei's good with your fees also.
Okay, so Cersei and Nova, and then Meg, your second role. I think
Takami is good with sharing all information in year one. But as Wallach from Airborne, I'm uncomfortable with that, and I think we need to recognize that you know, Airborne's technology is really important, and we need to be careful with how we proceed. It's all about kind of the bottom line and quarterly profits. So, I mean, if we were able to say half now, half on the first sale, and show that confidence, then I think we could share information, because it'd be the same kind of logic, right? Like, if we're sharing information that's showing confidence in this relationship, and so if you're confident in this relationship, then why not half now, half on data first sale?
Yeah, we're not comfortable with half now, half on first data sale.
Yeah, I'm not folding on that either. We can discuss what we want to do as far as sharing technical information, but I'm not coming out of pocket on,
Okay, so-
too heavy
So,
on fees.
So Wallach and Grant. I mean, I think we need to kind of come to a decision on Airborne side because we all play on the same team here, to kind of come to an agreement on our side. So I personally think, I mean, what's best and what I've heard from leadership is that we should be sharing, and I think that's a priority. And since the other partners are in agreement with that, I think that's where we need to concede. So I think sharing information, if everybody agrees, I think sharing information with all partners in year one is the best course of action. And it seems like the other partners outside of Airborne agree with that. So if you're okay with me making that executive decision, I think we can move on to the next thing. You guys agree?
Yep.
All right. So how the partners should share technical information, we're all in agreement, share among all partners in year one.
Yep.
Takami's really thrilled about that.
So Cersei.
Well, maybe we can do something as far as agreeing to how we coordinate with the airframers and/or how will the partners market to potential customers. We can always revisit it.
Well, I mean, from Airborne's perspective, if you guys we're willing to give up those concessions with the sharing of information and the fees up front, we would like to have the partners coordinate with the airframers complete through Airborne.
We are not comfortable at all with that.
No, we have a lot. Nova's not comfortable with that either. We have a lot of regional partnerships. And I think we all need to go at this at a team. I think we all have interpersonal relationships with people in our regions, interregional relationships that, I think we want to, remain intact.
Right. And
Yeah,
just
I
like
agree.
we were talking above, I mean, I think we've already started to discuss how we need to be sharing information. So if we're going to be sharing information with each other, I feel like we can coordinate together, with the airframers also.
As Wallach, it definitely seems to be the most financially effective option to have leadership depending on airframer's location.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it makes more sense to, coordinate with the airframers that we already work with in our own respective regions.
Right, and this option, I mean, I think this option is important to all of our relationships with the U.S. airframers as well. So I think if we maintain, depending on where they're located, I think I personally think that's the best option. Because you also have to think, I mean, if we do go where we're coordinating jointly, that could be a recipe for kind of disorganization in terms of communicating between all of us. And I'm sure the airframers, to be honest with you, wouldn't like that, and we don't want to piss them off, essentially. So, I mean, we want to make sure that they're currently, on the same page and wavelength, so we're coordinating with them properly. So, I mean, I'm kind of with depending on their location, for the fees and in order to make them happy at the same time, because they are another partner in this to us.
Yeah. And as the French company, we're good with that, knowing that we've got the relationships, in Europe. So, we would be happy to take on that side of it and let the United States groups take on the United States sides, and we can coordinate between each other. But we're good with leadership depends.
As Takami, I'm not thrilled with that option, but I respect that opinion, and I think we can come to deal with that because our value is primarily on the technology information. But I think it's important to note that leadership should be respected, and we do need to be consistent and not have kind of a revolving set of characters communicating with our suppliers.
Yep.
So we're good with that.
Okay, so are we all in agreement that leadership depends on the airframer's location?
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Okay, all right, great. All right, so let's move on to the next thing on how the partners will market to potential customers and different airlines for this new engine. So, currently, I think one of the best options is that Airborne takes the lead on this, and I think this is right because it kind of because we're currently listening carefully to everybody's concerns about the engine. I mean, so I think Airborne is in the best position to market the product just because we're creating the project. So I know everybody else here is involved with the creation of this jet engine, but I think that by listening carefully to everybody here and ensuring that their efforts are integrated into a unified strategy to market this, I think is the best option for all of us. So I'd like to hear the rest of your opinions on that.
So Cersei does not agree that Airborne should take the lead and would almost use the word that is unacceptable. Our proposal is actually to keep it individually, but keep everybody apprised. We feel that we, as a company, have an unparalleled marketing organization, especially in Europe. So we want to have the freedom to use our expertise all over the world, since this project is so important. With that being said, we know this is a joint venture, which means we're working with everybody, so we should be able to maximize everybody's resources. So as long as we're in communication, sharing information, sharing technology, each of us can play to our strengths in our respective places in order to kind of move this forward more efficiently.
Takami completely agrees, and I think that coordinating or marketing individually will allow all of us to partner and to contribute, but also to learn by working with those partners. So we definitely like that option as well.
Well, marketing isn't our strong suit over here at Novo. We are a technical powerhouse, but I'd really like to leverage Airborne and/or Cersei's marketing departments, in marketing this product. I guess we could, if it all came down to it, we could, lead, be the lead for our own domestic, operations. But I'd really like to work with Cersei or Airborne to ensure it gets done.
We are happy as Cersei to help you. We are happy to give you our resources to make sure that you guys are getting what you need. We are, joint venture. We're a team here. We're here to help.
Well, let me speak on behalf of Airborne. I do need to remind everyone that we are the lead partner in this joint venture, and we also are very marketing savvy. So I would prefer that Airborne takes the lead on this project.
But you guys don't have any European space and don't have any relationships in the European markets. So we don't. You guys.
So if that's the case, then would you be willing to kind of each take the lead for our own domestic customers?
Yeah.
I would say each of us take the lead, but maybe if Airborne can coordinate everything, I think that would be beneficial for us.
I'm happy to have everybody take the lead domestically. We, Cersei, don't want Airborne coordinating our European ventures because we feel confident that we've got that market. So again, as a joint venture, we want to work together, but we don't want Airborne kind of leading us in the direction that we know doesn't work. So taking the domestic customers is great. We can all share the information is fine with us, but we don't want Airborne kind of overseeing that aspect of our partnership in this.
And as Wallach, I would say from Airborne's stance, we don't want to hinder potential marketing efforts, and we don't want to get stuck with heavy administrative costs. So taking the lead or coordinating aren't really appealing to us because I think that they will have kind of negative overall hindrances to this process.
So if we're willing to kind of make the choice of that each of us partners kind of takes the lead on the domestic customers, I think we can both work with that. I mean, if you agree, and
Airborne,
move on from there.
Airborne does not agree unless only on the condition that we revisit the issue of how will the partners coordinate with airframers, and that goes through Airborne. We will only agree to that issue.
We're not, Cersei does not agree with doing that.
With each taking the lead for domestic customers, or what?
No, domestic customers is perfectly fine, but we are not going to concede and let all of the partners or the airframers being coordinated through Airborne.
Yeah, we would take on our own domestic customers so long as it meant that we're not giving up how we coordinate with airframers.
Yep.
Airborne's not going to agree. Airborne will not agree to this at all. We will only agree to domestic customers only. Like I said, we can get the partners to coordinate their airframers through Airborne only. If not, then there will be no agreement reached on this idea.
Yeah, we Cersei are not going to concede on the airframers, knowing that we've got our relationships in Europe since that's where we are. So we like the idea of the airframers location because we can handle people that we know. We can work with you guys. You guys can handle the American people that you know. And we can continue to use those relationships.
Yeah, I'm in line with Cersei on this one.
Airborne will not accept. We just can't. We just can't. We've conceded so much already in the other arrangement.
Well, Grant, that means you won't accept. That doesn't mean Airborne won't accept.
Well, my position is that will be it.
Well, how are you feeling
What
about
else
this?
does Airborne think? What other Airborne people? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think Airborne needs to figure this out.
Wallach,
We're
I
about to-
say Wallach feels like Grant knows his stuff when it comes to marketing, and really I'd side with him because he really is a mastermind. So I'd really, while I think that having everyone partners market individually would be the most financially sound decision, I've really got to defer to Grant on this topic because he really is the marketing expert.
Grant, can I ask you a question? Do you speak French?
I do not speak French, but I can hire someone who does.
Okay. You know who else you could just let talk to the French people? The French company.
I mean, it's great. I mean, we probably could do that. Now, unless would you mind letting us, coordinate with the airframer?
I would, because you would then be still talking to the French people who were already there and we already know. So why wouldn't you just let us deal with the European side, the French people? You guys handle the American people. I think we're saying the same thing. You're saying you're just going to hire a French person to do this. We're already great at what we do, and we're French.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, there's already been several airframers that have indicated that they want to communicate with us already.
I agree with you, and we've heard the same thing, that they want to just talk to us. But we're happy to partner with you guys, work with you guys, but we want to continue to work with the people that we know.
Okay, fine. Well, then if that's fine, then let's go back and revisit the fees.
Okay.
All right. So, okay. So let's just make this clear. So in terms of how the partners will market to potential customers, if Airborne coordinates and the airframers, or I'm sorry, if we each take the lead on domestic customers for potential customers and airlines, and Airborne coordinates and it goes through everything with Airborne for the airframers, we're going to reopen the fees and discuss about those.
We're not.
I'm not revisiting the fees. I've gone as low as I'm going to go on the fees, and that is half on the data first sale and half on the data first flight. I can flex on the other stuff. I'm not flexing on the fees.
So Grant, so Grant and Wallach, I mean, in terms of the best decision for Airborne overall, you think the partnering to market to potential customers is a deciding factor over whether or not we should have this agreement?
Absolutely.
I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think just our quarterly profits are what drive decisions. So for me, having our partners market individually is the smartest choice. But like I said, I do have to kind of leave this one to Grant since he's the marketing expert.
Now, Cersei, would you? I know we have pretty close ties as it is now. I mean, is it really a deal breaker if Airborne coordinates?
It is not a deal breaker if they coordinate. It is a deal breaker if they take the lead.
Okay. I think we can find some common ground here. I think.
Yeah, Takami would love that if Airborne coordinated and they were, coordinating that.
But I would say if Airborne is going to coordinate, then for the partners with the airframers, we should coordinate jointly as opposed to the location.
Takami would agree with that 100%.
And Novo would be willing to coordinate jointly on the airframers as well.
Grant, how do you feel about that?
I still don't. It's still not acceptable. It's not acceptable.
So Grant, Grant, are you hardline in here that Airborne takes the lead or no dice?
Airborne, unless you guys can let us coordinate through the airframers, let us do the coordination with the airframers, we would be glad that we will allow you to take the lead for domestic customers. Only, like I said, only if we could get, only if we're allowed to coordinate with the airframers.
But we're not conceding on that one. So
No, either we coordinate with the airframers on a location basis, geographic location basis, or we coordinate jointly. But we're not going to. I only speak for Novo here, but I feel like Cersei feels the same way. We're not going to give all of the control to this deal to Airborne.
Correct.
As much as we want to work together, I mean, I feel like we all have strengths and we all have skin in the game here. And, you know, I'm not willing to concede all of our rights over to Airborne.
Agreed.
I mean, I feel like though the Airborne, we as Airborne have made some pretty hard line concessions in the previous parts of the negotiation, and so this is like the one piece that we will just not come off of.
Okay. But we're not either.
No, we're not either.
Okay, so then, all right, so then let's make this a little simpler then. So if we go back to what Scott mentioned before, you're saying that if Airborne coordinates the potential customers, you're fine with the leadership depending on the airframer's location?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Grant, you're not willing to work with that, correct?
So you said if we coordinate with potential customers and coordinate joint, that's what you guys.
No, leadership depends on the airframer's location for how we'll coordinate with the airframers, correct? Is everybody
Yeah.
here, as I said, so we're on the same page?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right, so like-
that yeah. Okay, we're talking about market potential.
Yes.
I'm talking about
So you're in agreement with that?
the Airborne coordinates the market potential.
Yes.
That's fine. That's a deal.
Great.
As long
Tommy's really pumped about it.
Okay, great. So let's take a step back and kind of go over what we just said. So we decided on the program fees that it'll be half at the first sale, half, and then the second half on the date of the first flight, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
In terms of technical information, we decided that it's going to be share among all partners in year one, correct?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then how will the partners coordinate with the airframers? We're going to leadership depends on the airframer's location.
Correct.
fine. That's fine.
And then for how the partners will market to potential customers, Airborne will coordinate this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Yep. Okay, good.
So we are all in agreement, all five of us, or six of us, technically, in agreement about this negotiation, correct?
Agreed.
Yes.
Well, it was nice doing business with you guys.
So
Likewise.
I'm going to hit stop broadcast. Let's see if this worked.